Howdy folks. So some of you may recognize these speakers here. They're from a Toshiba X200 multimedia laptop. I have two sets of these and a subwoofer, and I mentioned that I would probably be blowing them up and opening them up and all that stuff, so here is that. So I ended up getting this one open, which was very, very challenging. They really have sealed the case on these pretty well. So you can see on the back there's just a plastic form that they've put a little tiny felt pad on, and that's obviously what the drivers sit up against. So they've got foam over the wires that go out, and they've got separate independent grounds for both of the drivers. You can see the drivers are 4 ohms each. I'm not going to bother to look up those part numbers. The weight that I mentioned is definitely from the driver. The drivers are actually quite heavy for their size, which I guess is not terribly good for a laptop, and I don't really know how they... I mean, they didn't sound terribly bad, but they weren't very loud. I mean, they weren't any louder than normal laptop speakers, so I don't know whether it was really worth it or not. But anyway, so to assist in the blowing up process, I have enlisted my Variac here. So this is a 12 amp Variac. It's overwound for North America, so it goes up to 250 volts or so. And of course that's way too much for something like this. I just sort of touch the knob and it'd blow up. So the output goes into this. This is a 250 watt power transformer from an old linear supply manufactured back in the 60s that I recovered. And it's got a whole bunch of outputs. I don't really know what this was used for, but anyway, these two wires here they create a winding that's roughly a 20-to-1 down conversion. So when I put 60 volts in, I get 3 volts out. So hopefully this is going to be the reduction I need, such that I can turn that knob a bit, and the voltage here won't get too high. But we should definitely still be able to blow this thing up though. So we will hook everything up and let it rip. Okay, so I've got it all hooked up to the big speaker here. So we are going to energize the Variac, and we're going to crank up the voltage, and you should begin to hear the lovely 60 hertz. So I'm going to read off the Variac input voltage, and you can just do the division by 20 by yourself. So that's 25 volts, 50 volts, 75. That's moving pretty far. It's about a 3 millimeter deflection up and down. 100 volts. That's line voltage. Okay, so that wasn't actually that bad. We got up to basically mains, and the driver is still alive. So let's de-energize that. I want to feel how hot this is. It is definitely warm. The driver is warm, but it's not as hot as I would have expected, which tells me that we can drive a lot more power into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a different tap on the transformer. The reason I stopped at mains is because this transformer is only rated for mains inputs. I'm going to get a bigger output winding so we can get the output voltage higher, and we'll actually go all the way to flames. Okay, so I've got a new set of windings. This one puts out 3 times more voltage than the last one. So 60 volts in is 9 volts out. A little bit more than that. It's not exact. I'm definitely going between windings here, but I mean, it shouldn't matter the amount of current we're drawing here. This transformer is totally fine. So we will energize the variac. It's 25 volts in. 50 volts in. We're bottoming it out. 75 volts. I can smell it burning. So, I don't know if you saw that, but there was smoke emanating from it, but we reached line voltage yet again, and it has not popped. But given by the smoke, I don't want to touch it, because I bet it's really fucking hot. Yeah, this thing is actually far more durable than I expected it would be. Actually, I have an infrared thermometer I can use to tell how hot that is. Now the emissivity is going to be totally wrong, because it's metallic surface, but I'm reading 60 degrees, so it's probably hotter than that. So yeah, I'm not touching that. I think I'm going to need another winding, and also I'd like to put this on something that's doesn't make as much rattling noise, because that's very annoying. So let me regroup, and you know what, at this point I might just hook it straight to the variac, because yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll hook it straight to the variac. Okay, so I've hooked it up directly to the variac now. I've had to open the window because it smells a little bit bad in here. So hopefully this is enough to pop it. Variac is on. Gotta stand up a little bit to do this. So now I'll be sort of trying to read the variac, but it's not terribly accurate, and it doesn't have a lot of markings on it, so this could be a bit hard. That's about 10 volts maybe. 15 volts. 20. 25. So it made it up to about 25 volts or so. And now there's a nice little plume of smoke. And she's dead. De-energize device, as Rodelco would say. And unplug. So we are all safe, and that thing is probably very hot. I'm still only reading 60 degrees. So obviously the reflective surface makes it a little difficult to detect the temperature. I wonder if the back gives a different reading. No. But yeah, I bet that thing is hot. I wonder if it's seized. No, it's not. That was a dumb idea. Speaker contains big magnet. So yeah, it still moves. Oh my god. That was dumb of me. Yeah, so I mean, it's not seized. It still moves, so obviously the coil just went open. So I think I'll just repeat this with the small one, and we'll call it a day. Okay, so this is the small speaker connected directly to the variac. Exact same setup as last time. We'll energize device, and I will read off the values. Damn, does not take a lot of motion on that knob to get that thing going. That's like at least 2 millimeters deflection. Probably far more it's ever designed to go. 7 or so. 10 volts maybe. It's already smoking. $15. And it's gone. De-energize and unplug. So yeah, that's about all they can take. I have to say, these speakers actually did pretty well. So if they are made by Harman Kardon, like they say, I'm pretty impressed. I don't think they sound terribly good or were really a good idea, but yeah, they're not terrible for durability. We didn't manage to melt the plastic house or anything like that. Didn't get that hot. Anyway, that was random, but I know that from at least one of my past videos that people like destruction videos. I try to save things rather than destroy them. I'm more of a repair person. However, every once in a while, I can always do something a little bit fun like this. I do have one planned destruction in the future. I have a motherboard that I have a serious vendetta against, and I've been holding on to it now for almost a year, waiting to do something to it. So in a future video, it will meet its end, but until then, thanks for watching.